Good morning, everyone. This is Joe with Ohio Woodburner, and we have just endured about 12 straight days of rain. Everything is soaking wet, but we got some nice weather coming, and I am still, deep into firewood delivery mode, and really all of my day-to-day activities have been delivering, loading up this truck, loading up the trailer, and delivering. I enjoy, and I'm sure everyone does, I enjoy the videos with firewood getting made, running the machines. But quite honestly, I haven't been making firewood. I've been selling it, and I've learned a lot through all of this. I'm still new. I'm into my third year, but the challenge has been trying to keep my supply up, trying to also keep deliveries. I still am doing what I can to make this pretty much a sole proprietor operation. I think the day will come where I need to hire staff, and I would change roles with what I'm doing. But I still feel I'm not at peak. I'm not at a peak on how much I can accomplish by myself. The challenge has been, making the firewood and having enough inventory. With COVID this year, we had a slowdown of logs, at least coming to here, that I'm trying to fix. We have been, struggling to keep our inventory at a level where I can keep up with demand. Knowing what I know now, trying to take these steps with fixing our wood lot so that the trucks can get in, I hope that we can have a huge year next year. And that's not to say that we're not having a huge year this year, because we are. Let me turn this. We are getting this truck loaded up this morning. It's going out on deliveries, and it's so wet. This truck's two-wheel drive. I can't take it out into the yard anymore and load, which is another problem I got to fix. This truck will just sit and spin. So we've been using the wheelbarrows, and I'm serious. This is a AM Leonard wheelbarrow. It's made in Ohio, guys. This is the best wheelbarrow on planet Earth. What a great wheelbarrow. It's got this wide front tire. It's got an extra ring if you have a partner that's helping you pull a heavy load. Man, is this thing strong. So this truck, I don't have this one lettered up. And this trailer is loaded up for delivery too. This is going out to a restaurant this morning, and that's why I'm not using the other truck to pull the trailer. I just got to do what I can do. I hope this wind isn't bothering you. This is all maple beech. It's over a year old. It looks awesome, and it's going out to a local restaurant. I got some work I'm doing under here. I sold all of this cherry, so I got more cherry coming in, and we're going to build an entire wall back here, and that helps in the winter time from the wind blowing through here. I keep the trailer underneath this roof to keep the sun out, keep the snow out of it. These are some resplits. This is some oak that I pulled out of a mixed firewood order that I'm going to be restacking with the oak. I separate everything by species. This is mostly maple. Now I do mix in beech with my maple, but this is mostly maple. And this is stuff that's going to be sold later this winter, early next spring, to the restaurants. And this is where everything that, I call it a first in, first out, or FIFO. So this was all firewood. The oldest stuff is down here. And as this stuff got sold, I start backfilling. And this is that area where I picked up some mold on these two rows that were here, and that was because I had built that back wall. So that's a lesson learned. So let me turn this around. The statement of the day, it's not a question but a statement, and it was something that I had asked myself, was so you want to sell firewood? And I of course took that one step farther. It's not that I want to sell firewood, it is I want to make a living selling firewood. So I don't want this to be a side hustle. Boy, that sun, I'm not used to the sun causing me backlighting problems here. I didn't want I don't want to make firewood just a hobby. I want to make a living out of it. And when I was doing some calculations on what I thought I could sell a cord of firewood for and how much money I would need to live and to keep the house and to keep gas in the gas tank, I came up with a number, and I concluded quickly that I would not be able to produce that volume with a chainsaw and a log splitter. So something would have to change. And that's when I made the choice to go into a firewood processor. Let me turn this around. And you know, with chainsaws, guys, I guess I'm just handicapped because all I have is a Dolmar 7900 with an HD filter kit. But you know, yeah, okay, I admit it's the greatest chainsaw on the planet. But you know, there's still only so much I can do. And I'm going to get to like the limitations of a firewood processor in my price range. But you know, I still, if you ever do buy a firewood processor, don't throw away your chainsaw. You're still going to need it. So these logs here were too big to go through it. And you know, that other video I talked about, this is starting to get old for me too, picking these big rounds up to put on my splitter. And that's where to fix my inventory or my procurement problems with getting logs delivered, I need to be able to handle bigger logs. And I'm not into picking up heavy stuff anymore. I want to get a commercial splitter, and that's still in the makings as well. So here's the deal, guys. If you want to make a living out of firewood, you got two choices. Make your own firewood or buy it already made. And I was actually I'm doing pretty good buying firewood already made. And it wasn't until I hired this accountant to help me understand what I'm doing here. He pointed out to me how much money I'm losing by buying my firewood versus, you know, because I can buy it in logs a lot cheaper than it being already made. The way I see things is I am buying market share right now. So if I'm losing money by buying firewood, I feel that it's worth it, at least right now, because I'm still in growth mode and I'm getting a larger market share of customers. So I haven't worried about leaving money on the table by buying firewood already made. But it wasn't until the accountant showed me how much money I'm not losing, but leaving on the table. That was very eye-opening to me. It was almost like, man, all the work that I do to go get that firewood, get it packaged into a delivery and delivered to the customer, I don't know if it was worth it for all the money that I was allegedly, you know, making. I would say pennies on the dollar. Because, you know, if I'm averaging $100 a cord, I'll turn this camera around again. If I'm averaging $100 a cord in the wood to make my own firewood, and if I'm averaging like $160 to buy firewood already made, you know, that $60 doesn't sound like a lot, but man, when you're talking about 120 cords sold in a year, it's a lot of money. And it is one of the things that's going to keep me from, and again, it's going to be one of the things that's going to keep me from being profitable. So, where I was going with all this, though, with a decision to make a living out of this, you know, I physically cannot keep up with making firewood the old way with the chainsaw and the splitter. So I knew that I needed to get a machine, and this was not my first processor purchase. This is my second one. The first one I got was a Dyna SC12, and the deal here, guys, there are a lot of great firewood processors out there, and if I were to get one of these big ones that could handle all of these logs, I wouldn't be able to afford it. I'm not saying that this thing is because, you know, this machine sitting here as is about $25,000. And it's not like I just got $25,000 laying around to have some fun making firewood. But when I look at the return on investment, when I look at the lifestyle that I can maintain, That's where this machine became much more attractive. That Dyna that I bought, it's a great machine. I would recommend it to anyone as long as it meets your goals. Every machine has its strengths and has its limitations. And the Dyna is a great machine. It's built well. It's going to last forever. But, in the world of processors compared to like this one, it was just too slow. And the big thing that I had with it, it did not have an adjustable knife. The knife, was fixed. And if your log wasn't perfectly hitting the knife in the center, it was just wasting wood. So I had even gotten away from using a 4 or the 6-way knife on that machine. I would just split it in half, and then I would resplit it with the super splitter, and it was just taking all day to make a quart of firewood. And then so I knew right away that it wasn't the right machine. It was still a lot better than a chainsaw, but still, where did I have to get in order to make, let's just say, 150 quart a year? It wasn't gonna get me there. So when I went to the Paul Bunyan show, which is conveniently in my home state, it's in Cambridge, Ohio. I met, and I had an idea of what I was looking for in. I had a good idea on what I was looking for. It had to have the adjustable knife. I needed a positive stop, and this is going to sound, I don't know, flippant. There's a good word for you. But it had to work from right to left. And if you look at your firewood processors, some work left to right, some work right to left. Maybe that's not a big deal for you, but at least the way that my yard was set up with the pavement, and I wanted to stay on the pavement, I needed a machine that would work right to left. So in theory, I guess that eliminated 50% of every firewood processor out there that I was looking for. The price range that I was looking for also, that's going to limit how big of a log that you can run through it. The limiting factor on the Japa is your spring hold down. This is 14 inches. And obviously it's got a 15-inch bar. So that's going to limit you on the size of your log. So about a 14-inch log is about as max as it'll get in here. And this is a 12-inch log, and this is getting set up to be run through. So that's what I was up against. I knew I had to have a machine. I knew that I couldn't do it the old-fashioned way, and what was out there. And this is where I feel I've hit a home run with the Japa. This machine is amazing. I can have an entire cord made in about 90 minutes. And that's with me rolling the logs up to the machine. I still don't have a loader, which I need to come to a realization with that as well. And I bought this off of Metsa Machines in Wisconsin. Bob Nelson, who I met at the Paul Bunyan show, is just a great dealer. He's everything that you would ever want in a dealer. He calls me asking me how things are going. And I told him I'm at 70 hours, and he went ahead and mailed me up a hydraulic filter. And so I went ahead and changed the hydraulic filter. During this time when I'm not making it, if I had some downtime, especially before the time change, because it gets so dark now, I did my maintenance. I changed the oil in the machine, or in the engine. I went around and snugged up bolts to make sure nothing had shaken loose. And I changed the hydraulic filter and the hydraulic oil. I changed the oil filter on the engine, and that was tight, man. Boy, they put those on tight at the factory. That was real hard to get off. And then I just cleaned it up. I had this lid comes up, and I just cleaned out all the sawdust and the bark and stuff that got inside of it. And then I set it back out here before the big rain started, and I got it in position here because I'm getting all these logs turned into firewood, and then we're getting them stacked out in the yard. So, do you need a firewood processor? I don't know. It's expensive, obviously, but do you want to make a living in this game? And so there's a difference between you just selling wood for, you know, extra income, or just because it's fun. But you know, where are you going to get the firewood? So that was my big choice. I would prefer to have had all of this money, the $25,000 for this machine, in the bank. But you know, that was the price to pay in order for me to maintain this lifestyle. I will say this: being self-employed, it is a great lifestyle. Quite honestly, I don't know what took me so long. It is something, there's such a freedom in your day. Now you're still accountable. You got to deliver your goods to the customers. You have to maintain your core values. You have to do what you're going to say that you're going to do, and you have to be profitable doing it. But there's a lot of freedom in my day, and that is, I think, the biggest enjoyment. And you know, I didn't know what I was getting into. What they say, you know, you don't know what you don't know, and I didn't know what was, you know, how it was going to be. But I will say this: the biggest, most pleasant surprise has been the lifestyle. I don't have to fight that alarm clock in the morning now. Maybe one day out of a month where I have an early morning delivery, but I can get my morning started on my terms. I can set the schedule in a way that works best for me, and I don't have some jerk boss telling me that I'm at a 0.2 and you got to get to a 0.4. All right, that has been great. So I don't know if, you know, this is the right lifestyle for everyone. We all got to do what we got to do. Mine happened because of circumstances, and while this was always in the back of my head, everything, it's just like Jupiter aligned with Venus, and everything just came into an alignment for me to help me make this move. So and that's where I am, and that's why I have a firewood processor. We're going to be running this later today, and we'll be posting some videos of that. And we got some deliveries that are going to be going out here shortly too. All right, so there you go, guys. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope that it is no longer raining in your area. Don't throw away your muck boots. Okay, everyone, have a great day.